female African-American a cappella group Sweet Honey in the Rock, and one of the original members of the SNCC Freedom Singers, also talked to reporters behind stage.
I'm Bernice Johnson Reagon. I was born in Southwest Georgia in the country. And the first time I heard Pete Seeger was on TV with the Weavers during the Hootenanny, but I didn't know him as Pete Seeger. I met him as a human being because of the Albany, Georgia civil rights movement in the 1960s. And he actually thought the singing in Southwest Georgia was so powerful that they should organize a singing group. And he talked about the Almanac Singers and the Weavers and said to Jim Foreman of SNCC, if you organized a group, you would have a group that could travel all over the country singing songs about the movement, and they might also bring financial support to the movement. And so Cordell Reagon, who was a SNCC field secretary, organized the first group of freedom singers. I was an alto, Rutha Harris was soprano, and Charles Neblett was bass. And Pete was really the person who actually identified that body of work. And in '63, we traveled all over the country, and sometimes they called us a singing newspaper. But he was really transformative in my life. And one of the important things about Pete is that he was married to a woman named Toshi. And the first time I did not go home for Christmas, I spent Christmas at the Seegers. And Toshi booked the Freedom Singers, and I was the contact. So my foundation for the business part of music comes from Toshi Seeger. So of course, when I had my first baby, and my baby was a girl, that girl's name is Toshi Reagon. And so the Seegers are powerful forces in my life and in my work. The other thing that Seeger taught me was the idea of a working singer, that you did not have to be a star. You had to know you were a singer, you had to know what your music was, and you had to be willing to do it for the rest of your life as long as you had voice. And people would keep up with you. They would catch up with you if you did not go away. And it was a very important model for a young singer. And as a freedom singer, we made $10 a week. It was the perfect way to start my career as a musician. But it was looking at Pete Seeger and his years and years of doing music as a part of struggle that really inspired me. He was a very important model. And what's incredible is that he has not broken stride in any way. So now he is a 90-year-old. If you live to be 90, you could just take the whole thing to your grave, you know.
Can you talk about Pete Seeger's connection to the song We Shall Overcome?
Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie went to Highlander Folk School during the 1940s. Zilphia Horton, the wife of Miles Horton, who was one of the founders of Highlander, was the music director. She taught Pete a song that had come to Highlander from people who went on strike from Charleston to the American Tobacco Company. And so Pete took this song, and he said that he took it back home, and he was doing a lot of concerts for union organizing. And he said the song really didn't do much. But he made some changes. He changed I to we, and instead of I'll or I will, which is the way we sing it as a church song, he said he changed it to I shall, because it sounded better. And he also added the verse, we'll walk hand in hand. And this song was taught at Highlander to the students who came there on Easter weekend 1960 after their sit-in work in Nashville, Tennessee. They took the song back home. And at an organizing meeting, the students who were sit-in leaders actually started to sing the freedom songs they had been doing, and Guy Carawan led this particular song. And they stood and they joined hands. And from that point, this became the theme song of the movement. And it is Pete Seeger who is the link. If you start with black people striking in Charleston, going to the one place in the South during the 30s and 40s where black and white people could organize together, Pete learning the song there, taking it north, including teaching it to Guy, who ended up back at Highlander. Miles Horton said that Highlander sort of incubated the song until it could be returned to black people organizing against racism. So Pete is a crucial and very important link, having things pass through him no matter where he was.
Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon, one of the SNCC singers and founder of Sweet Honey in the Rock.